Well, we did our monthly grocery trip here today. This is where we come. It's a place, well, it takes a little while to get here from our house. It's up in Owensound, actually, in southern Ontario. And some of this stuff we buy, like we buy in bulk, hot dogs, because we alternate our barbecue, and I've got chicken breasts in here. It's for restaurants, but people can come here too. We buy, everything in bulk. Believe it or not, this will actually do us for almost the whole month. We bought a bunch of produce and some bananas and stuff and whatnot. So that cost me today 270 Canadian dollars. So that actually seems a little bit high. I'm going to compare slips to it from previous shopping trips, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to put these carts away, and I guess we'll do more videos in the future. Okay, so while we're in Owensound, I really had to show this to people, so that way you can feel a whole lot safer about terrorism. Not so long ago, they had an article or a thing on the news there about terrorists. Now, see, this is a port. As you can see behind me here, there's a big ship, and they have the great big grain towers and that. And a lot of this, of course, we're on the Great Lakes here, and this will come to Georgian Bay, and we'll get, anything from Thunder Bay, probably stuff all over the world even. I think these can even head out to the ocean, I imagine. But anyways, the news was showing security they had to put up because it's an international dock. So I just want to show you how safe it'll keep people, from intruding. So here I am now, just walking through the fence. It's doing a good job keeping me out. And, it's not like anybody would attach themselves to a ship and, all the way over from whatever they're going to come from. I mean, you can see how well these things work. I mean, there's no way on earth anybody would ever be crazy enough to, walk around this fence, I would never do that to get past. So, this is obviously a good barrier. That'll work, because we wouldn't want to fall in the water. So, anyways, you'll have to forgive my sarcasm, but honestly, tax dollars at work here. Okay, this is all for international trade because of the terrorists, against terrorism and everything else. Look at that barbed wire. Nobody would ever get past that. I'm sorry. They're either going to fall in the water, walking around that little tidbit there, or the barbed wire. There's no way they're ever going to do anything. I think we've got it covered, right? I'm sorry. We wouldn't want them stealing wheat. Anyways. So there's your terrorist security systems at work. Look at that. That's an electric gate. Look at, there's the open and close buttons right on it. Nobody would ever figure out how to do this. I'd try it just to prove it, but I wouldn't want the cops to come here and arrest me, right? For being a terrorist. Look, keep out. There you go. Nobody will ever intrude now. So anyways, just want to show you how hard our governments are working with the wisdom that they have, to keep our terrorism at a bare minimum. Seeing as how, obviously I could never get my van through there. I had to park here to do this. So, anyways, thanks for watching. That's the security system we have here, and I think we're doing a good job. That ought to do it. So we're just leaving Owensound here, heading out home. I wanted to add something about this terrorism nonsense that I was showing you. The factory I used to work at, we used to do assembly at home with some of the products that they made, and it was so nice I could pull my truck up to the side door and just unload right into the truck. Well, because of this Partners Against Terrorism nonsense, we weren't allowed to use that door anymore. So I had to go and get a pump truck and drag the skid all the way up to the front door. And because I couldn't pull my truck up the front doors, right, then I had to carry these things all the way to the truck. I can remember muttering so much about that stupid George Bush because of all this nonsense. What difference does it really make? And we had a gate too, by the way, but of course it was never locked. It fools people though. If it looks closed, well, I guess you're never going to bother trying to get in. But anyways, just telling you some more of the bureaucracy at work, and how red tape and paper and the way that these kind of people think to make something look like something so that it pleases certain lobbyists, so they can say that they handled the problem, they did their best. Well, I can see that. And, this is really, I'm getting a little more serious now though. This is, all the sarcasm aside, this is the kind of mentality we're dealing with, and that does frighten me, because if that's how they think of how they're going to handle terrorism. What are they thinking when it comes to handling in the event of a real pandemic, you know, like swine flu or bird flu, or an true economic collapse, which, you know, we're still facing, or a currency collapse. You know, if these are the brainers that come up with this, what are they coming up with when it comes to the real important problems in our lives? You know, or in the event of maybe some, you know, like a real military action. I don't really see that happening right now, but I'll give you some examples. Like, let's suppose if Russia really wanted to do something military up in the northern Arctic, because as everybody knows, there's some squabbling going on over who owns all the oil up there. Actually, the Inuit do on our side, but you know, who cares about that, right? I'm being sarcastic, but anyways. So I'll just leave that with you, and I guess I better watch the road. We're in a city here, so have yourselves a nice day.